It was a sunny, warm day, April 24th, when we went searching for mining bees, a species called Colletes inaequalis, at the east end of Stanwadlow Park, just where the hydro cut meets Halden Ave. We found these holes in the ground, perfect circles, less than a centimeter in diameter and pretty close together. The cellophane bee, as it is called, is a solitary bee. Solitary doesn't mean it likes to be alone. There were plenty of bees and plenty of holes in this grassy, sandy place. Solitary means it does all its own work. It is not like a honeybee, where the queen lays eggs and some of the daughters gather food and do other jobs. The cellophane bee, although it works alone, hangs out in spaces like this with other cellophane bees. What were the bees doing, buzzing all around, so close to the ground? Both male and female cellophane bees spend the winter in burrows underground. The males dig up to the surface first. When the females arrive, emerge from their holes, they fly all around like this, looking for a mate. Once mated, the females will dig side tunnels off the main tunnel of their burrow, brush fungicide on the walls of the cavity, and then a coating of waterproof cellophane. She will then attach her eggs to the side of the cavity. No wonder this bee is guarding her nest. What a lot of work. But the big job is still ahead of her. She must gather pollen and nectar to fill that plastic bag she has made in the cavity. So the larva will have something to eat when it emerges. But what is pollen and what is nectar? Pollen can be found on the male parts of a flower or on male flowers. I collected pollen on a piece of clear plastic tape and put it under the microscope. It turns out the pollen from different plants is different. Here is some from bloodroot, a spring flower that is in bloom in Taylor Creek Park in April. It looks like a soccer ball. Here is some pollen from dandelion. It looks like it has a brush cut. Some bees are fussy. They will only take a certain type of pollen. Our bees, the cellophane bee, is a generalist. It will use pollen from lots of plants. Why pollen? Nectar is sugar water. Feeding a baby nectar is like raising it on popsicles. Pollen is full of protein. It is like feeding a human baby mother's milk, which is just what has everything that it needs, not just apple juice. There aren't that many bloodroot plants and dandelions around Taylor Creek Park. Where could a mining bee be getting enough pollen for their young? In the wetter areas down the hill, we found some willows in bloom. They were covered with pollen. Very close to the mining bee colony, there were also Manitoba maple trees covered with male flowers. No pollen brushed onto my hand when I touched those flowers. The bees were buzzing around the branches, but not landing on any of the flowers. What was wrong? Did they not know how to collect this pollen? This would be the handiest pollen for them to collect. We took a bunch of these flowers home overnight to examine them further. The next morning, they were covered with yellow powder. This is what the Manitoba maple pollen looked like under the microscope. It had just been a matter of time. It needed to ripen. We also found cottonwood trees with long red catkins and silver maples with clusters of male flowers. So there was enough food for mining bee babies right there on the edge of Stanwadlow Park.